Shri Radha Namo Namaha. At first, I offer my humble prayers in the lotus feet of Lord Shri Radha Krishna. I also extend warm greetings and respect to all of you. All by the mercy and grace of Lord Shri Radha Krishna. From today, I will be starting the English translation of Shri KrishnaKarnamritam composed by Thakur Shri BilavMagal ji. Before I start the verses and the translation, I will first like to share the story of Thakur Shri BilavMagal ji, which is mentioned in the book published from Shri Radha Madhav BilavMagal Research Foundation, published from Mathura. The story is as follows. There was a young man, a Brahmin by birth, in a certain village. This man fell in love with a prostitute in another village. There was a big river between the two villages, and this man every day used to go to that girl, crossing this river in a ferry boat. Now, one day he had to perform the obsequies of his father, and so, although he was longing, almost dying to go to the girl, he could not. The ceremonies had to be performed, and all those things had to be done that are absolutely necessary in Hindu society. He was fretting and fuming and all that, but could not help it. At last, the ceremony ended, and night came, and with the night, a tremendous howling storm arose. The rain was pouring down, and the river was lashed into gigantic waves. It was very dangerous to cross. Yet he went to the bank of the river. There was no ferry boat. The firemen were afraid to cross, but he had to go. His heart was becoming mad with love for the girl, so he had to go. There was a log floating down, and he seized it with its help, crossed the river, and getting to the other side, dragged a log up, threw it on the bank, and went to the house. The doors were closed. He knocked at the door, but the wind was howling, and nobody heard him. So he went around the walls and at last found what he thought to be a rope hanging from the wall. He grabbed it, saying to himself, "Oh, my love has left a rope for me to climb." By the help of that rope, he climbed over the wall, got to the other side, missed his footing, and fell. The noise aroused inmates of the house, and the girl came out and found the man there in faint. She revived him, and noticing that he was smelling very unpleasantly, she said, "What is the matter with you? Why this stench on your body? How did you come into the house?" BilavMagal said, "Why did you not, my love, put that rope there?" She smiled and said, "What love? I do this for money. And do you think that I let down a rope for you, fool, that you are? How did you cross the river?" "Why, I got hold of a log." "Let us go and see," said the girl. The rope was a cobra, a tremendously poisonous serpent, whose least bite is death. It had its head in a hole, and was getting in when the man caught hold of its tail, and he thought it was a rope. The madness of love made him do that. When a serpent has its head in its hole and its body out, and you catch hold of it, it will not let its head come out, so the man climbed up by it. Unfortunately, the force was so strong that it killed the serpent. "Where did you get the log?" "It was floating down the river." It was a festering dead body. The stream had washed it down, and he mistook it for a log, which explained why he had such a bad smell. The women looked at him and said, "I never believed in love. We never do. But if this is not love, the Lord have mercy on me. We do not know what love is. But my friend, why do you give that heart of yours to women like me? Why do you not give it to God? You will be perfect." It was a thunderbolt to the man's brain. He had a glimpse of the beyond for a moment. "Is there a God?" "Yes, yes, my friend, there is," said the woman. The man walked on, went into forest, and began to weep and pray. "I want thee. O Lord, this tide of my love cannot find a receptacle in little human beings. I want to love where this mighty river of my love can go. The ocean of love, this rushing, tremendous river of my love cannot enter into little pools. It wants the infinite ocean. Thou art there, come thou to me." After several years of this incident, he thought that he had succeeded. He became a sannyasi and he went from city to city. One day he was sitting on the bank of a river at one of the bathing places, and a beautiful young girl, the wife of a merchant of the city, with her servant, came and passed the place. The old strings again rose in him. The beautiful face again attracted him. The yogi looked and looked, stood up, and followed the girl to her home. Presently, the husband came by, and seeing the sannyasi in the yellow garb, he said to him, "Come in, sir. What can I do for you?" The yogi said, "I will ask you a terrible thing. Ask anything. I am a grihastha, and anything that one asks, I am ready to give. I want to see your wife." The man said, "Lord, what is this?" "Well, I am pure, and my wife is pure, and the Lord is protection to all." "Welcome. Come in, sir." He came in, and the husband introduced him to his wife. "What can I do for you?" asked the lady. He looked and said, "Mother, will you give me 2 pence from your hair?" "Here they are." He thrust them into his eyes, saying, "Get away, you rascals. Henceforth no sight of flesh for you. If you are to see, see the cowherd of the groves of Vrindavan with the eyes of the soul. Those are all the eyes you have." So he went back into the forest. There again he wept and wept. It was that great flow of love in the man that was struggling to get at the truth, and at last he succeeded. He gave his soul, the river of his love, the right direction, and it came to the cowherd. The story goes that he saw God in the form of Lord Shri Krishna. Then for once he was sorry that he had lost his eyes and that he could only have internal vision. He wrote some beautiful poems of love. In all Sanskrit book, the writers first of all salute their guru, so he saluted that girl as his first guru. That was a brief about the story of Shri BilavMagal ji. I salute and pay my obeisances to the great soul, to great sannyasi Shri BilavMagal ji. Now we will be starting the English verses of the KrishnaKarnamritam. The holy and divine words are as follows. All hail to Chintamani, to Somagiri, my religious preceptor, and to my teacher, the Lord who bears a peacock feather crest. At the tip of tender shoots from the trees of wishes, which are their feet. Jai Shri, the goddess of victory, realizes a joy like that in a divine play marriage of her own choosing. Behold the object which is showered by wistry blossoms falling from the fingertips of heavenly maidens, and which, although nirvana calm, produces a flood of sound from the famed flute. It is the Most High in the form of a boy who gives final release into the hands of the suppliant, as he did to the thousands of encircling, dancing milkmaids whose hold on the garment wrapped around them was constantly being loosened. We do reverence the dark blue boy who was unrestricted dominion over love's sweetness, the lover from the sandy courtyard of Kalindi who became the father of the love god's reincarnation, whose eyes, bathed by nectar waves of beauty, excite the regard of Lakshmi's sidelong glances, and become languid as a result of these lively side glances, which are the chief cause and the farthest end of love's symptoms. With a bright peacock plume, hair ornament, and a face as if dipped in sweet tenderness, the light takes life in that budding youth found, where the nectar of full flute sounds swell. And on all sides, the milkmaids of the full bud like breast adore. The light is the one wonder and the one delight of the world. Let it shine in our heart. His tender lotus face has the nectar of a very sweet smile. A charming lock of his is fastened with the feather of the impassioned peacock. In my mind, ready to swallow the poisoned meat of sensual enjoyments, let Krishna, the light incarnate, shine long, the indescribable light, with his large eyes. Let the lotus face of the Lord open in my heart, with his lotus eyes half shut like huds, and the globes of his soft mirroring cheeks puffed with the honey of flute sound. Let it manifest in my words, just one small particle of the sweetness of Murari, in the artless form of a lovely child, with a moon face adorned by soft flute music, decorated with only the feather of a dancing peacock. His artless lotus mouth, languid with love, is darkened by mascara from the eyes of young women of Vraj. Let him, who is the soul of my poetry, be triumphant. I seek refuge in the Lord, who is marked by red paste from the jar like breast of milkmaids. In lotus hands, rosy like new shoots, he holds his flute and ardently attends its music, while his lotus feet seem to fall the red of the patali blossom, and the passionate essence of his face rises in flowery springs of light from his lower lip. We seek the shelter of the Lord, who is the object of an unbroken line of glances, inscribed every moment by the milkmaids and illumined by the emotion of the unembodied love, God's message. Let it shine in my heart, the inexpressible light, which embodied in the youth the Krishna moves to and fro among the beautiful young women of Braj, and is a source of the enduring perturbation which makes their eyes dance and widen with joy. Let my heart carry away the indescribable bliss found at the lotus feet of Krishna, which are the only place in all the world where Lakshmi is found at her eternal play, which uproot all of the pride from the clusters of a lotus pond, which, when freeing the suppliant from fear, are excessively elevated over the haughty. Let the Lord of life come into our heart. He is the boy with eyes which are more sparkling every moment, and every day are new with their totally artless graces, and which is the fullness of their love, sustain his power. Let my mind plunge again and again into the flood of bliss, which is embodied in the boy who cools then agitates with an erotic play, which is the cresting sea of passion's tumult in the ocean of love's tender affection, where the reflection of his full moon face dances with faint smiles, with the sound piped by his own flute as if enjoyed by the graceful expressions on his lotus face of natural beauty. Let that energy living in all creatures, incarnate as Krishna, dance with rosy lotus feet as the life in my heart. I do honor the Lord's feet, whose jewel anklets chatter and whose footprints play along the paths of Vraja. Thus concludes first chapter from Shri KrishnaKarnamritam. Thank you for listening. Shri Radha Krishnaya Namo Namaha.